Hi, and welcome to Shit I Watched This Week. Cop Car. Honestly, this movie was a total piece of shit. Now, it wasn't as painful to suffer through as other pieces of shit that I've seen, as it's actually somewhat entertaining when you're hate watching it.
I fucking love suffering.
I would say the movie was carried by Kevin Bacon's performance, which I can honestly say is great, and he almost saves the movie whenever he's on screen. Problem is, he's not the focus of the movie, so he has very little screen time. Instead, the movie is carried by these two child actors who do the best with what they're given. Unfortunately, their characters are fucking obnoxious and unlikable, and they deserve to be on something like Beyond Scared Straight.
Oh, you like fighting? I want you to hold this for me. Here, hold this. This Kool-Aid. We put this on like you. You gonna be my Open that mother up. Lick your lips. Now stick your hand in that Kool-Aid. Just stick it in there. Now take your finger, just do this to the bottom one. Come here. Now I kiss you. You orange flavor mother.
This makes the ending of the movie hard to invest in because you're expected to like them. Besides that, the movie's plot really isn't all that memorable and nothing inventive is really done with what the movie is trying to do. There's nothing here for me to remember the movie by, no potentially interesting exploration of the naive idealism of children, the hidden kindness in a corrupt cop. Everything is just fucking black and white. It wouldn't be a problem if all the other aspects of the movie were done right, so don't waste your time with this one unless you're really keen on seeing what the next Spider-Man director is capable of.
Oh god.
4 out of 10.
Disappointed!
Less Samurai. Oh god, I probably butchered that. But this was honestly really, really good. Like, you should really watch this. I would probably call this one of the early crime movies, or early modern crime movies to be more precise, in that it perfectly captures the nihilism and pointlessness of the modern crime world. The highlight of the movie is Alain Delon, I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong too, and his performance, who you can tell was probably one of the inspirations for many of the characters in American crime cinema, such as Travis Bickle or the driver from Drive. The story is honestly pretty fucking crazy too. While it can be frustrating at times, said frustration actually feels like a compliment to the story due to the characters being caught in an endlessly frustrating loop as a result of their own actions, and they are also self-aware of these actions. Also, the soundtrack is pretty fucking awesome too. 9 out of 10. The African Queen. Okay, I completely understand this movie was essentially one of the big original adventure movies of the 50s. And while I had an absolute blast watching the movie, there's really not much else to it beyond the simple adventure story structure to it. Everything is done well enough. It's just that nothing is really done exceptionally when held up to today's standards. The script is basic film school study material and is an example of an adventure movie written well. In fact, I'd place it alongside the script for Raiders of the Lost Ark in terms of being a simple adventure movie that's fun and engaging. The directing style isn't really all too noticeable, but besides a few awkward editing choices and logical gaps, it's pretty serviceable. Katharine Hepburn is pretty good, although Humphrey Bogart is the worst fucking British person on the planet. In fact, his British heritage is such an important part of the film, yet he doesn't even have any sort of British accent, makes it very, very difficult to pay attention when something like that is just so... 6 out of 10. The Ballad of Narayana. Well, wasn't this movie just two types of fucking crazy? Honestly, this is one of the most thematically and emotionally fucked up movies I think I've ever seen. It hurts to watch and it should be doing just that. Every single performance is amazing and it's unpredictable as fuck. If that doesn't sell you on it, I don't know what else will. I mean, like, it also looks really pretty. Just go see it. 9 out of 10. Sunset Boulevard. Holy fuck. This is the least Hollywood-esque classic Hollywood movie I've ever seen. There is no way a major studio would greenlight something like this today at all. Billy Wilder is a director I honestly have to catch up on, as his Double Indemnity is really the only other movie of his I've seen. And if these two movies are any indicator of what else he's done, goddamn, I'm really excited to see what else he has to offer. Every single performance in this movie is fucking dynamite, and the story had me guessing right to the very end. Seriously, with a few edits, this script could be up there with something like Chinatown. And honestly, this movie is also actually kind of terrifying. This is a horror story you tell to someone who wants to work in movies. Besides a few complaints involving some minor directorial choices, some of which are a product of its time, including the voiceover, and one mediocre performance which actually kind of detracts from the movie, don't worry, you can probably tell which one it is when you watch it, this is actually a really goddamn amazing movie. 8 out of 10. The end of the tour. As much as I loved watching this movie, I do have a few issues with it. Namely, while Jason Segel is great in the movie as David Foster Wallace, it takes him a while to settle into the role, as some of his dialogue comes off as forced and even a little bit stilted at first, early in the movie, although when he finally gets comfortable, the movie gets a lot better. While the movie does lean mostly on Segel's performance, credit to Jesse Eisenberg for stepping out of his comfort zone a little bit, playing a somewhat darker version of the Jesse Eisenberg character he normally does. Stylistically, the movie is really interesting, but there are moments when the movie jarringly descends into overblown melodrama that conveys the movie's themes with the subtlety of a sledgehammer, and the last few minutes of the movie are just fucking filled with these moments. While these moments are really short, they really disrupt the balance and tone of the movie, breaking the whole dynamic of what is trying to be conveyed. I'll have to check out the book that the movie is based on. Like, if this actually happened, I might actually raise my rating for the movie a little bit, but I highly doubt that because they just don't feel real like the rest of the movie does. Honestly, the most interesting parts of the movie are the ones in which the two characters do action and just talk about life, and it's actually really interesting and engaging whenever that's just what's happening in the movie. So yeah, 6 out of 10, although I am willing to raise it up if I am able to confirm what I'm thinking is happening. So yeah, that's it. So that was the shit I watched this week. Next week, the slow decline of Batman vs. Superman's Rotten Tomatoes score and something else.